Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Club Junkie podcast. Hopefully, you're having a good week. I'm having a good one. Excited for the weekend as well. So, before we get into today's episode, just want to let you know it's brought to you by Titleist and the brand new Pro V1, Pro V1X golf balls. We all aspire to outperform the player we were yesterday. This takes practice, commitment, and trusting your golf ball will perform the way you need it to on every type of shot. The new Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X are the most advanced yet and will help reward your best swings like never before. Both models are longer, even more consistent, and feature unrivaled control. Pro V1 is the best combination of distance, spin, and feel in the game and delivers a penetrating ball flight. Pro V1X flies higher and spins more in the short game while still giving you low spin on longer shots to maximize your distance. Find out more about the new Pro V1 and Pro V1X, including which is the best choice for your game, at Titleist.com. So, I'm still rocking Pro V1X. Still my gamer ball. Been playing that a lot. I know I've tried some other balls and stuff this year, but the Pro V1X has been my go-to for pretty much the whole year. Hopefully, you guys having a good one. Excited to be back. Glad to be talking with everybody. And I've been kind of tinkering, messing around, playing some golf. Played last weekend and had a lot of fun. I got paired up with a gentleman who was very familiar with Golf WRX, and it was kind of cool. So, James, if you're listening, I don't think you are, but it was a great round. We had a lot of fun playing out there. So, my dad and I went out and played early in the morning, and of course, Bella Vista. And that morning, all of a sudden, right as we were teeing off, a guy drove up, and he said he had a tee time with a bunch of his buddies. A bunch of them didn't show up because of maybe some late night shenanigans from a wedding, and he was out playing. So he joined up with us, and we had a lot of fun. He was a super nice guy. So it was funny. His in-laws have a place on Coldwater Lake as well. So we found out we actually their place and my parents' place is like literally 200 yards from each other. Like they're really, really close. So it was kind of funny to do that. But he was a super nice guy. We had a lot of fun. And he was a gear junkie just like us, man. It was pretty cool. He had some new stuff in the bag that he just bought, and I was pretty excited. So it was a whole lot of fun. I played okay. It was a tale of two nines. I played the front nine absolutely. I played the front nine great. Shot 39, even with a rough bogey on nine. I hit nine is a weird. I know I've talked about the course a million times, but nine is a weird hole. It's a par five. You got to hit it through a chute of trees, like a hallway of trees. And if you hit it too far, it goes in. So it goes down, like out straight down, and then it goes left up a hill, and you go to the green. And the fairway runs out at like 220 ish, and it goes into this little depression, this little valley that's kind of wet. It's not a place you really want to hit from, but it goes down in there, and then you go up a hill, and the green's up there. Well, there's trees on the right, a little bit of trees on the left. So if you hit it too far straight, like if you hit driver and you don't draw it around the corner, which you can if you're a big hitter, or you can kind of control the draw you're hitting, you can get it around to the other side on the other section of fairway. But it's not easy to do. I've only done it like once or twice. The one time it was like a total accident. I kind of hit a ball and I was like, oh man, it's cutting the corner. Like it's gonna hit the trees and be gone. They cleared it and it was on the other side. And then one other time when I've actually tried, but most of the time I try it and I hit a ball in the trees and it's gone. So now I hit 5-iron down the chute, so like a 190 shot, and then I hit 3-wood up the hill. So I hit a good 5-iron down there. I was playing. What was I playing? I was playing the Cobra King Tours. I brought those out. I kind of wanted to give them a shot before I decide if I put the Axioms, and those are the 230s, the I-230s, and I know I haven't done it yet. I'm still working on it. The I-230s are there. They're apart. Everything's ready. The Axioms are pulled out of the Vegas. They're ready to go, and I found I was putting them on the swing weight scale. I was like, man, they all came out really good. They're like D3, other than the 5-iron. The 5-iron was like a hair light. It was like D1, but I was like, not a big deal. And then realized they're all that I found. Then I pull up my ruler, and they're all half-inch long. So except for the 5-iron. The 5-iron is not half-inch long. Came in at D1. The rest of them were D3 and came in half-inch long. So if I come down the half-inch, they're going to go back to D0. I'm going to have to put, tip weights in them or whatever. So it's just kind of like, oh, man, I was hoping they would be a little bit closer to standard length. But they're not. So they're not done yet. I know I've been talking a big game about getting those done. I just haven't done it. But so anyway, so the King Tour is out. I was going to see, am I going to play those? Hit a really good 5-iron right down the right-hand side of the hallway. Had a really good look. Hit a terrible 3-wood, kind of left, hit some trees, fell down, and drove up, and it was like on the root bed of the trees. It wasn't actually on a root. It was sitting up on like a tuft of grass, sitting there right against the trunk. So I had to kind of punch it out into the middle, but I the tree was in the way. Like I couldn't I had kind of straddle the tree to kind of hit this ball, and I was just trying to punch it out. And there wasn't the big window to the far right. I couldn't get the club that way, like my body and everything. I couldn't hit it that way. So there was a slightly tighter window that I had to hit it through. Hit it, bounced off a T-trunk 30 yards behind me into the 10th fairway. So I was all the way down to the 10th fairway, and I was probably like 110 yards at the point of where I was, and I was then at 150. So and then I hit an 8-iron that was really solid, just missed, fell into the trap, hit knocked my ball out, and got it down. But it was just kind of a mess of a hole, but still shot 39 on the front. Played really, really well. I think I birdied one, and played just really solid. Kind of played a lot of like tee to green golf. So played really well. The back nine, unfortunately, was a 45, so I shot 84. But it was a good day. And 84, honestly, it was like 2 holes that I just didn't play well. The rest of it, I kind of just chugged along with some bogeys and pars, and then I made a double on a, I think, was it a par 5? Yeah, that was fine. I made what was it? I made like a bad double somewhere for like nothing. Didn't lose a ball, just hit some poor shots, and made a couple bogeys that I shouldn't have. But it was a good round. It was fun. It was a beautiful day, so had a great time. So played that. And then I played a bunch of the milled grind 4 wedges, which I think I'm gonna talk about next week. They're really, really good. I really like them. I'm taking the Tiger Woods ones out tonight in league. I'll probably play them this weekend as well. I took the standard options out, and I had a 56, and I've got like 360s that they sent with the additional soul grinds, and then they sent the Tiger Woods version. So I'm taking the Tiger ones out tonight, and then next week's show we'll talk milled grind 4. And then, before we get into some Apex Pro, Apex CB, Apex MB, I took the 790s out. So I know I talked about a little bit numbers-wise last week. Took the 790s out in my league, and they're pretty solid irons. Feel and sound is really, really good. I don't remember last year's being as soft and as muted. Even on mishits, they've got a little click to them on mishits, but flush shots are just absolutely flushed. I mean, just that thud. You kind of almost feel like you're playing a forged iron. They're just really soft, but really good feel. The ball just kind of feels like it jumps off the face. It just really goes. And they were playing basically a club longer than everything else. So when I got to par 3s, and it was 160, I hit 8-iron, and I hit it to the right spot. And 170 shots when I usually would hit a 6, I hit a 7, and the ball would get there with no problem, even if it wasn't perfectly struck. Hit a 4-iron off the tee that was just an absolute rocket. It actually is on the. I played that on the 4th hole. There's a big pond up on the right, and it's like the water's like 220ish, 230, depending on where they move the blue tee box. And I hit just a great 4-iron right down the middle. Nowhere near really the pond, but when I got up to it, I was like, man, if I would have let that leak right a little bit, it would have started flirting with kind of everything slopes in there to that pond, so it would have been close there. But really solid. They played really well. I really like the look. I think TaylorMade did a really good job on the looks of these things, even from address. They have a good look, not too much offset, just a little bit. The top lines are a little thinner. I think they're even a little thinner than the 770s. But just a really good compact look. They kind of look like a player's club. They feel and sound great, and they go a good distance. They're easy to get in the air, especially off the tee. Hit them and they just launch high. Even off the turf, they launch high and easy to get in the air. The only thing that I was a little kind of iffy on them was I hit a couple shots like out of the rough, like short irons, like 8-iron, 9-iron, stuff like that into the green, and they had a little bit more release than I thought they would. I thought once these things hit most irons like my 150s and even the 230s and some of these other kind of the Cobras, they hit and stop. Even out of the rough for the most part, they may hop a little, but they pretty much stop immediately if you're hitting an 8-9 iron pitching wedge, something like that. And these I hit 2 shots that I thought I hit really solid, hit the green, and actually released a decent amount for even being such a short iron out of the rough. So that was a little interesting, but everything else about these things I really like. And I mean, this is just going in dynamic gold 105, nothing fit, just going and hitting them, and they were really, really solid. So along with the numbers being long, all that, they backed them up on the course. So what I was seeing there in terms of, almost a club longer on the launch monitor between the 770, they were pretty much a club longer than everything I've been playing for the most part out on the course. So really solid. I think they did a great job with these things. I think they're definitely worth hitting. So definitely go take a look and see how they work for you. But they are really, really solid. So had a good time hitting those, and was definitely impressed with the 790. All right. Well, so then let's if you're watching this on YouTube, there's no video for the first part of that I just talked about, because my memory card ran out of memory. So I stopped it, or was running out of memory. So I stopped it, put it into my computer, went through, just deleted the whole memory card. So, yeah, I got no video if you're watching this on YouTube, which you can. Look at Golf WRX Radio, search that, and these are all on YouTube. I usually just flash up pictures of clubs and stuff, but totally accidentally deleted that whole video that went along with the first part of that podcast. If you're just listening, no worries. But if you're watching on YouTube, yeah, I apologize. That was kind of dumb, but oh well. So we're back, and now we're going to talk a little bit about the brand new Callaway Apex Pro, Apex Pro, Apex CB, Apex MB that just came out. Brand new stuff from Callaway. I know we've all been waiting on Apex for a while. If you're watching again on YouTube, here's the Apex Pro, and definitely some cool stuff from them. The Apex CB MB, I know we saw some spy photos on tour from our boy Greg and Andrew. The CB looks like that. The CB looks awesome. I really like the CB. I think that's my favorite out of the group. And then, of course, the Blade, the MB, which is a pretty tiny guy, but has a little bit of look of that look of the Maverick McNeely irons that they kind of came out for him. A little longer blade length, a little shorter from sole to top. But yeah, the new Apex stuff is out. It looks really good. I kind of like that it's pretty minimal. The Apex Pro this year, hollow body design, so forged body, forged face as well. So I know a lot of times, these multi-piece irons are called forged, and then only one piece is forged. Like usually they just forge the face, or they just forge the body, or whatever. For Callaway, both pieces are forged, and they do 2 different faces. So the 3 through 5 iron runs a 455 steel, forged 455 steel, high speed steel face, cup face that runs in the 3 through 5, and then 6 down runs a 1025 forged steel for. So the 3 through 5 iron made for a little more speed, a little bit more forgiveness, and then in the 6 through pitching, or 6 through 10 iron, or even 11 iron, they run a carbon steel that's going to be made for more consistency, better distance control, things like that, not as hot. So pretty cool that they forge both pieces, and hitting them, they definitely have a pretty soft feel to them. But these things also have the Callaway urethane microspheres in them as well to dampen some of the vibration and sound. And then they totally redesigned the sole that has a kind of pre-worn leading edge, and then also a little bit of trailing edge relief. And basically it's supposed to help the front of the club not dig, and then that trailing edge relief is supposed to help the club exit the turf quickly. So good for turf interaction. I have not hit these on turf yet, unfortunately. They just sent me a 7 iron of each, so I was hitting them in my net. Did that a couple times. Throw out some numbers for you, but unfortunately I haven't gotten to the course, and I don't know that I will, because it's just a 7 iron, and just throwing a random 7 iron in your bag means you're never going to hit 7 iron. It just pretty much seems to seal the deal when you go play and you just put one club in your bag, because you only have a 7-iron or 6-iron or whatever it is. Whatever that club is, you're never going to hit it. It's just that yardage is never going to come up, and you're just never going to hit it. So the Apex Pro looks really good. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to kind of compete with a little bit more with the T150, but with the top line and all that, it does kind of look a little bit more T200-ish. But I think it's kind of in between the two. I think it'll kind of play in both. Distance-wise, it actually was just a little bit longer than my T150. I was kind of hitting it side by side, and this had kind of just a little bit more ball speed, and seemed to go just a little bit farther. But overall, a really good-looking package. I think it's really simple. I like the backing on it with just the simple black weight that is, we'll say, interchangeable, but from Callaway. I don't know that we'll be able to order weights or anything like that, or at least from Callaway. We'll probably get them through other aftermarket places that sell them. But overall, a really good design. I like the look of it. You can definitely tell that it's got a little bit of a hollow body. It's a little thicker sole than I think we're used to seeing from the Apex Pro a little bit. I think the traditional Apex Pro kind of looks a little bit more like the CB. But this one here looks really good. Like I said, just a little bit of offset top lines, just a little bit thicker than I expected it to be. I always kind of think that Callaway misses a little bit with the much better players, only because they add a little more offset. They have a little thicker top lines than other kind of players type irons, and I feel like this one is so close. They press just a touch of the offset off. And then just maybe beveled that top line just a little bit, I think it would look so good. But I still think it looks good. A really solid iron. I feel like these are going to be a big time combo with the MB and the CB. You'll see a lot of pros in the long irons, and then a transition into the CB and even the MB. And on Callaway's website, they even have they call it the triple play, which they will sell you a set of Apex Pros in the long iron, CBs in the mid irons, and then the MBs in the short irons, which is pretty sweet. I think the triple play call is really cool. I would love to see that set. I would probably go 4-iron. I'd probably go 4 or 5 in the Pro, and then maybe 6, 7, 8 in the CB, and then maybe 9 pitch or 9, 10 iron, 11 iron. In the MB, which would be pretty sweet. And I love that they're doing a 10 iron and an 11 iron. I think that's just kind of cool, something different. I know some like Hanma and some other places used to do it, but I think it just looks kind of cool. It's something different, and I kind of like it. I know some people, traditionally P, A, G, whatever the letter you want on the bottom. I get it. But I think they were pretty cool. So Apex Pro, really like. I thought the sound and feel was really good. They're pretty soft. Not quite as soft as the CB, not quite a solid feeling, but very close. And you can definitely tell there is just a little more heat from the face of this compared to the CB 7-iron. The ball just, you can kind of almost feel it compress a little harder, jump off the face a little harder. And overall, I know the numbers for me don't scream it, but out of the 3, I hit the CB really well. The MB I just struggled with. I think I just psyched myself out that it's an MB. And the Pro I hit pretty decent. I feel like maybe it's one of those things where if I just went and did a little fitting, hit a few different shafts, a little different thing, I think I could dial in some pros to make them really good. But overall, I like them. I think they're really solid. Turf interaction will be interesting. Maybe one day I'll be able to go out and maybe I'll hit up a grass range or something like that, hit a few balls, and let you know how the turf interaction is on these. But right now, just kind of hitting off a mat into a net, just because I just have 3 7-irons. So, but really nice that there. And then the CB is just a little bit smaller. I really like the CB. I think it's got a really good shape to it. It's a little more compact, and I was definitely hitting this the best out of the 3. This one here is just 1025 carbon steel, no hot face, anything like that. Straight carbon steel throughout, weighting there, and then it's got the milled cavity in the back there, and I believe that milled cavity it does help kind of control the CG placement of each iron. So you'll see probably like a lower CG in the long irons, higher CG as you kind of move down the set into like the lower irons there to help kind of control, flight the ball, stuff like that. These also have, I believe, some tungsten weights in there as well in the heel and toe to kind of add some stability and kind of help the balance and feel of the club, which is pretty nice. And then, the CGs are kind of progressive. This thing also has the dynamic sole design, as they call it. This one you see a little bit more. You see a little bit more, especially of that pre-worn leading edge. I know YouTube's probably not going to show it that well, but you do kind of see a lot of that pre-worn leading edge with this one, and a little bit more of that trailing edge relief on this iron compared to the Apex Pro. But the CB looks really, really nice. It's my favorite to look at. To me, it kind of does look like a T100, maybe even 150 in terms of that look. Very minimal offset. The top line is not razor blade thin, but it's thin enough where you're going to look down at it and like the way it looks. I think this is going to be an iron you're going to see in a lot of better players' bags. It just has that really, really good look to it. Feel on this one is really, really soft. Really solid. When you strike it in the center, right away it's kind of got that buttery soft feeling to it. It doesn't have that feeling of the ball just rocketing off the face like, say, the Pro does, or some other irons, distance irons, but this thing definitely has a soft, solid feel. And consistency is going to be the big thing on this one in terms of distance control and things like that. It did spin just a little bit more than Pro for me, but all three of these were kind of in the same ballpark in terms of spin when I hit them. So CB I really like. It's the one I hit definitely the best when I was kind of hitting shots. I would kind of rotate through the three irons, and the CB was kind of by far my favorite. And then you have the MB. So the MB is the little guy. The way it's shaped out in the muscle, it's got kind of that Maverick McNeely kind of blade look to it. Different weight system, but a little longer heel to toe, and it's very compact, very short from the top line down to the sole. It just seems very short, so it kind of even makes that blade length look even like a little bit longer than it probably is. When you kind of compare it to the CB, you can kind of tell the CB is definitely a little bit taller. Well, I guess I can't. It's kind of hard to show these off here on YouTube, but you can kind of see that the CB definitely has a little taller face to it. So pretty interesting design, that it's a little shallower, but overall really good looking. I know we'll see a ton of these in pro bags. The Tour Pros, this thing has basically zero offset to it. It has about zero offset, and the top line isn't just a little bit thinner than the CB. Nothing too crazy. Definitely got a little more squared toe compared to the CB and the Pro. The CB and the Pro are definitely a little more rounded, a little softer angles, a little softer edges, where the MB is going to be kind of the sharpest, more chiseled out of the three. This one, like the CB, forged out of 1025 carbon steel, and it's got a pretty narrow sole, but it's still got the dynamic sole design where you're going to again have that slightly pre-worn leading edge and that little bit of heel relief to get through the turf just a little bit faster, a little bit smoother. But overall, just a really good looking blade. Again, progressive CGs, so the short iron's going to have the short irons will have the highest CG, the long irons will have the lowest, to kind of help flight the ball a little bit throughout the whole set. But a good looking set of blades, and again, you can kind of mix and match these kind of however you want. I was kind of in there looking at the different iron and combo sets, and when you get down to this Apex Pro stuff, it's pretty cool that they have a triple play, which you can kind of combine them all. They have the Apex Pro Series player set, which will do long irons in the Pro, short irons in the CB, and then they have a blade in CB for the Apex Pro Series Elite set that'll combo up blades and CBs. So pretty cool that they do that, and I think combo sets, especially at this level, are a very big thing, and kind of dialing in different trajectories and things like that for these irons is pretty cool, pretty special. So been a lot of fun. The interesting thing is that the CB and the MB, and no idea what the shafts are, no shaft labels, so I'm not really sure what they are. The CB or the Apex Pro came with the new Dynamic Gold, True Temper Dynamic Gold Mid 115. It came with that, and when you match up all the 7-irons, the step pattern on this is totally different than the other two. So, yeah, the other two, not sure what they are. But but we went and hit them anyway into our net because, why not? It was a whole lot of fun. So the first one we were hitting was, I kind of did 2 range sessions in my backyard with my net and my full swing kit, and just hit balls there. I was really hoping to get out and go to like an outdoor range with the kit and hit some balls there. It just didn't work out between work and weather and other stuff. So unfortunately, didn't get out there. But so the getting into a few numbers on it, the Pro compared to the other ones, the Pro was the longest, but only by a yard. So the Pro came in at 160 yards for a 7-iron. These are all 7-iron stock, loft lie, stock shafts that came in these things. So nothing has changed. 160 carry was on average, and again, I tell you guys, I don't delete stuff that is not perfect. I keep in there some shots that are not struck 100% well because that's just what it is, and I'm a bad 9 handicap. 160 for the Pro, 159 for the CB, and the MB 152. Now the MB, to be fair, I don't know if it was in my head, but I did not have as many well struck shots as I would have liked to. I was kind of all over the place a little bit, and I don't know if I was psyching myself out or what it was, but I hit the MB. Did not hit it as well as the other two, but 160 carry, 159 for the CB, 152 for the MB, and those are all 7-irons. Now, the CB and MB are a degree weaker than the Pro, but only 1 degree. For the spin numbers, the Pro spun the least at 57.48. The CB then came in next at 58.51, and then the MB at 58.74. So when you look at some of those, they're really, really close. I mean, 100 RPM between Pro and CB, and then the CB MB are basically the same. I mean, you're talking 23 RPM, which is absolutely nothing. So those two spun very, very similar for me. Again, now if you look at the MB, there's a lot more kind of shots that I hit left that were kind of lower spinning draws and things like that than the CB. So I think, if you looked at that and took away some of those shots that I had, I bet the MB would spin even more than the CB for me. But it was kind of, like I said, right about the same. The Pro wasn't crazy low spin either. I mean, when you start looking through shots on there and looking at all the shots in there, there was a little more variance compared to the CB. But again, I hit the CB really well, and I probably hit it the most consistent in terms of center contact, direction, all that. Ball speed wise, the Pro won out at 113.1. The CB came in at 112, and then the MB at 108.6. Of course, the MB, you got penalized more for the miss hits. You saw a massive drop in distance compared to the other two. And with the Pro, I had a few more miss hits in there that carried lower ball speed than the CB. The CB I hit really solid. Clubhead speed between all of them was close. 84.2 with the Pro, 84.6 with the CB, and then 82.2 with the MB. So why I swung the MB slowest? I think at probably some point I was just trying to slow it down to try to make the best contact I could. But CB and Pro I pretty much swung identical. Now the CB to me definitely felt the most comfortable in my hands throughout the whole swing. It just kind of had a really good feel to it. But we're all pretty close there. Smash factor, 134 with the Pro, 133 with the CB, 132 with the MB. I was actually kind of shocked the MB was even that close with the amount of shots I hit with it. But the CB and the Pro, again, I think the Pro, you're seeing kind of that hot there. Well, this one doesn't have the crazy hot face because it's a 7-iron, so it's got the 1025 forged carbon steel face. But I still think that offers a little more distance and a little more forgiveness than the CB does. You could tell that the shots I hit off the toe, which is kind of my miss, or low on the face, that ball speed number would kind of stay up better than the CB on those same shots. Launch angle, pretty close. Pro 21.4, the CB 21.9, and then the MB 20.3. And again, MB, I think it was just kind of the combination of hitting a little left, a little bit low, and then the Pro and the CB both hit really, really similar, and even that 1 degree of loft difference didn't really make up much. I mean, I hit the Pro a half a degree lower, which is nothing. I think that barely makes. I'm not consistent enough to say that 1 degree difference makes up half a degree in launch angle for me. And then peak height, the Pro 97, the CB 104, and the MB 97. So the Pro and the MB. And again, I think the Pro and the MB, I just hit a few more shots, kind of like off the toe left. That just didn't go as high. Where the CB, I just hit more shots straighter, and I hit a slightly higher quality of shot if you look overall throughout all of them. But overall, Apex Pro, really liked the feel of it. I thought it was definitely soft. Had just a hair of a click to it. When you went to hit balls, when you just missed, you'd get a little bit more of that click out of it, but nothing too crazy. It still sounded and felt really good. The CB I thought was my perfect kind of blend of iron. I thought it had kind of the most kind of that great solid forged feel. And even when you missed it, I mean, yes, you watched a little bit of drop off happen, a little bit more than the Pro, but it just had that really good sound and feel, just really soft. And I think Callaway's always had really soft forged irons. They've just always felt really good. They've never been super firm or harsh or anything like that. And these, even hitting, what was I was hitting Strixon Z Stars was what I was actually using, like 2-year-old, like probably like the 2020s or something like that, that were in kind of a bag I had that had, a scuff here and there or whatever. But the CB felt really, really solid. Definitely very soft, a little bit softer than the Pro, a little bit more solid, but on the misses, you would definitely get a little bit more vibration to the hands. You'd feel a little bit more of that through there. But really, really a good feel on it, and it seemed like the ball flight on these was probably consistently the best. Again, I would love to get them out to an outdoor range, hit a few more balls, and try them. But overall, I think these feel-wise are really on par with a lot of the soft forged players, cavity backs that you're going to hit out there. It's really going to play pretty well, and like I said, it's going to be something that I really want to see the turf interaction on these bad boys, and maybe I'll throw the 7-iron of this in the bag and just see if I kind of run into that distance, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But I really like the CB, and again, I don't know if it's something with just the CG placement on this thing being, a little larger blade, having a little taller toe, or just the center of gravity is in a place that just felt better throughout the swing. But the first swing I had with this, it just felt the most comfortable out of the three irons. So really like the CBs. I think they really look good, and I really like how I hit them and how they played. And then the MB, same thing. When I hit them flush, they just flush. They just go. They just felt great. It was one of those, you almost don't even feel it when it hits the center of the club face and just kind of thuds and goes. Traditional soft blade. When you missed it, you definitely felt some of that harshness, vibration out of there, and you definitely saw some drop off in performance. They definitely are not crazy forgiving in terms of a blade. And in terms of looks, I love the almost no offset to them. They look great there. I wish they were just a little softer, a little more rounded for my eye, but that's me, complaining, and no one else. But overall, I think the blades are going to be huge sellers. You're going to see these in a lot of bags, and I think you're going to see a ton of play of both these and the CBs. And even the Pro, I think you're going to see a lot of Pro long irons out there on tour. So we should see a good amount of play from the new Apex Pro stuff. So it'll be interesting to see whenever we see the new Apex. But the Pro stuff, I think they did really, really well. And I kind of want to get my hands on a set of CBs. I kind of want to do the triple play. I kind of want to do a triple play set irons. I think that would be pretty cool. I'd love to go take those out and play them and kind of see how that plays. Get a little everything out there and try them out. But I know this episode's kind of short, and that's like not the most amazing review there of the Callaway stuff, but it's just when you only have 7 irons, like all these other sets, I have full sets. I go out and play them, and you can go out in the course and all that, and it's easy to do. So I'm not trying to not Callaway. I mean, they send in those media samples, and that's cool. But it's just it's harder to get it out in the course and play it compared to having full sets of other stuff. So. So that's my kind of initial thoughts on the Apex Pro stuff. I really like it. I think the sound and feel is really good. And I really like the looks, especially the aesthetics of them. I think they did a great job. And we'll see kind of how they perform out on course. I definitely want to get them out there, hit them, and see how they go. So we'll see if I can maybe get a few more irons and take them out there and play a little bit with them. So anyway, That's all I've got today. am going to hopefully do my Q&A today, probably on the main Golf WRX channel. I haven't done it over there in a little while. I know I usually do my Club Junkie one on Wednesdays, but this Wednesday, I don't remember why, but I didn't. And then I did an IG live yesterday with Mike Pye from Adele, which was awesome. So if you go check out Golf WRX, their Instagram account at Golf WRX, and check out the kind of the live chat Mike Pye and I had from Adele Golf. It was really awesome. And then if you're following me on Instagram, please do, or thank you. If you're not, please do at Club Junkie Pod. Trying to post as much as I can on there, trying to post more and more to keep a lot of content flowing. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, please Golf the BRX Radio. If you could like, subscribe, all that jazz. It just helps the algorithm out, and it gets us to more front of more eyes. And the more people that gets in front of, the more stuff I get access to, and the more fun we can have trying stuff out. So that's just the whole the whole thing with it. So that's all I've got today. Again, I know it's a little bit of a short episode, but we'll talk some more about Apex stuff. We'll talk about a little bit more. I've got MG4 Tiger wedges, so MG4 wedge episode will be next week. And then, I'll figure out these axioms. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know. They're going to go in there. Then the other thought I had was they may go in the PXG 0317 CBs. So, because I don't love that setup that I have there. I've got those, the Project X 6.0s. I don't love that set. So maybe I go Axiom in the PXGs. I don't know. Maybe I'll put up a little poll. We'll see what you guys think. But maybe we'll put up a little poll, let you guys vote, and we'll see what you guys think. So that's all I've got today. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Go play some golf. Let me know what you guys are hitting. Hit me up. I know you guys love DMing me questions and stuff like that. But let me know what you're playing. What are you messing around with? What should I mess around with next? What should I try to get my hands on? But anyway, hope you have a good one. And we'll talk next week.